There's still a couple names for Penn State fans to keep an eye on. One is Devyn Ford. Another is Antonio Alfano.
That's right.
Where does Penn State stand, and how close are they to deciding?
Yeah, I mean, these guys both decide Friday. I believe it's May 18th. Is that right? I believe that's the end of the week.
It's the day before the Preakness. Yes, that's correct.
So, okay, very good. Black-Eyed Susan Day in Maryland and decision day for Devyn Ford.
I base my life on horse racing and handicapping.
That's
so
right.
There you go.
Devyn Ford will decide in Fredericksburg, Virginia, a 4-star running back, and Antonio Alfano will decide in New Jersey, a 4-star defensive end. Ford will decide at 4 p.m. on Friday. I'm not sure yet when Alfano will decide. I think Penn State goes 1 for 2 here. I don't know why. I just get that feeling. I like their chances with Ford a lot. We mentioned Nana Asidu earlier. He is a teammate of Devyn Ford's, and I think that at the end of the day, that and some other things will sway him to pick the Lions. Alfano, I'm just not as bullish on Bob. I think Josh Gaddis and Alabama have put a really interesting spin on this recruitment. Penn State, again, it's not a lateral move, but now you have Josh Gaddis, arguably your best recruiter, in play at Alabama, and Charles Huff, who was right up there as well as at Mississippi State, not the same as what Alabama has to offer, not really the same as what Penn State has to offer, but it just goes to show that when you lose guys, they're also, you forget sometimes that they're going to be recruiting against you. Alfano has mentioned a number of times the relationship with Josh Gaddis when he talks about Alabama. I think the Crimson Tide might get him if they push hard enough.
Okay, 4th down also involves recruiting.
Yeah.
Penn State recently, after the fall, said goodbye to Brandon Smith, a linebacker who was a walk-on in-state.
Yeah.
I think he's going to go to camp with the Buffalo Bills as a free agent. I'm pretty sure about that.
Yeah.
But another Brandon Smith, who is a 5-star linebacker, not to be confused with the old Brandon Smith, is now in play for Penn State on the recruiting front. Can you talk a little bit about how good he is, what kind of player he is, and what kind of impact would he make on a Penn State recruiting class?
Could grow into a defensive end. Looks like a linebacker right now. Not quite similar to Nick Tarburton, but maybe in that
He's not a Pennsylvania kid either, right?
He is not. No, he's from Virginia. He's a 5-star, top 30 player nationally. He's been to Penn State quite a bit. And this recruitment's interesting because he was sort of going along taking visits. I believe he saw Texas A&M. Oklahoma's been involved. Ohio State, Notre Dame, Michigan, all been in play. He's seen Penn State a lot. And it didn't really feel like a decision was coming. And then all of a sudden over the weekend, he put out that he was going to put out his pick on May 21st, next Monday. So I will be curious to see here. I like Penn State's chances, but when a recruitment ends that quickly, you just never know if there's more at play than what meets the eye. I would make Penn State the favorite as we talk about a week before he's going to make his decision, Bob, but we'll see, and it would be a significant impact. I mean, at some point, you look around the country, and all the big heavy hitters that Penn State is now recruiting with for top talent are getting them. Penn State's sitting a little bit, on the outside of that run. They haven't really got going yet, but if you get 2 or 3 out of Ford, Alfano, and Smith, I think you're really happy. 3 of 3, you're doing cartwheels. 1 of 3, I think you're a little bit demoralized. And somehow go 0 for 3, it's alarm bells time, because this is a group of 3 that Penn State has spent a lot of time recruiting and also sits very well with in the grand scheme of things. I think at worst they go 1 for 2 on Friday, and I think they get Smith. So worst case scenario would be 2 for 3. As far as I'm concerned, we'll see how it plays out.
So they're at 3 now.
Yeah.
You kind of could see them getting to 5.
Right.
And is there any other recruiting news with summer camps are starting to get very, very close? Are there any other announcements, any other decisions? Could you see a case? Could you see a case where they're at just 5 commits going into the summer camps?
I would be going into the summer camps. Yeah, I mean, we're not too far from those kicking off, about 2 to 3 weeks. I'm not sure if anybody announces with the Penn State tie between now and then. Salim Morley, the guard out of Delaware, announces a 3 or 4-star. I believe he's all the way to a 4-star. He announces July 23rd. So that's right before, I think, or the day of.
I only know a relation to horse racing. So
right, so it's a week from Arlington. And when you look at his recruitment, I mean, he's been to Penn State a ton, and I just have a hard time seeing anyone but Penn State landing him at this point in time. So that's 6, basically. I think they should be somewhere between 8 and 10 by the time the season starts. I think you're going to see a lot of commitments come out of the woodwork in June, July, and maybe the first week of August. So I think the dominoes are going to start to fall soon. It's been a long wait, and not really one that James Franklin and Penn State are accustomed to. Generally speaking, they've had some pretty big hits either in February or at the blue-white game the week before, the week of, or the week after. And it's been a little bit slow, but I think the dominoes are going to start falling here starting at the end of this week.